Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into something pretty cool, building a Q&A site using WordPress.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, imagine creating a space where your audience can ask questions, get answers, and, have those lively discussions.
It'd be like a virtual hub for your niche.
Exactly, and all powered by WordPress. Our source for this deep dive is an excerpt from a blog post titled, Build a Dynamic Q&A Site with WordPress Effortlessly.
Effortlessly. Sign me up.
Right. It really emphasizes just how easy it can be.
You know what's interesting about all this? You don't really need to be a tech whiz to create a thriving online community these days.
That's so true. WordPress really does make the process remarkably user-friendly.
It really does.
That's one of the biggest takeaways here for sure.
Totally.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit.
Okay.
Why is WordPress such a good fit for a Q&A site?
Well,
Our source points to a few key reasons. Customization options, its intuitive interface, SEO friendliness, and the ability to scale as your audience grows.
think of it like choosing an outfit for your website.
You want something that reflects your brand,
Yeah.
something that can adapt to different occasions.
Right.
WordPress lets you do just that.
I love that analogy. So how do we actually get started with building this Q&A site? The source outlines 5 key steps: securing a domain and hosting, installing WordPress, selecting a theme, installing a Q&A plugin, and configuring the site.
Okay, let's walk through those steps.
All right.
First up, the domain name.
Okay.
It's your online address.
Yep.
So make it memorable,
Uh-huh.
make it relevant to your Q&A site's focus.
Makes sense. And hosting.
Those things like renting a space for your website to live online,
Okay.
you need a reliable provider, especially if you're in Australia,
Right.
where compliance with local regulations is essential.
Absolutely. Now, thankfully, installing WordPress is usually a breeze.
Oh, yeah.
Many hosting providers offer one-click installations, making it super simple.
Super simple.
Once WordPress is up and running, it's time for the fun part.
Ooh, fun part.
Choosing a theme.
I love this part.
Me too.
Hmm.
It sets the visual tone and layout of your Q&A site.
Here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
The source suggests looking for themes specifically designed for Q&A sites.
Oh, that makes sense.
They often come with built-in features and layouts that you'd otherwise need to customize yourself.
So it's like buying a pre-furnished apartment
Right.
versus having to decorate everything from scratch.
Yep.
Saves a lot of time and effort.
For sure.
Now, to turn this website into a true Q&A platform, you need a plugin.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Think of it as the engine that powers the interactive elements.
Okay.
The source mentions DW Question and Answer and Anspress as good options.
I've heard of those.
What do these plugins actually do?
Well, they handle all the key functionality.
Yeah.
Letting users submit questions,
Oh, okay.
allowing others to post answers, enabling voting on the best answers,
Gotcha.
and so much more.
So it's what transforms a static website into a dynamic, interactive community.
Exactly.
It sounds like these plugins are the real heroes of the Q&A world.
They certainly play a crucial role.
All right, so once you have the plugin installed, it's time to configure your site.
All right.
This is where you can get granular with categories, user rules, and permissions, making sure everything is organized and easy for your visitors to navigate.
You're setting the rules of the game.
Yeah.
You want to make sure everyone knows how to play
Right.
and that the experience is enjoyable for all participants.
I like that analogy.
So now that we have the site built,
Yeah.
how do we ensure it thrives and attracts a vibrant community?
Great question.
Our source dives into some best practices for managing your Q&A site.
It emphasizes fostering community engagement, regularly updating content, and moderating entries.
Right, and it sounds like
It sounds like it's all about finding that sweet spot between providing valuable information and creating a space where people feel comfortable interacting and sharing their knowledge.
I think you hit the nail on the head there.
Okay, good.
One of the keys to success here is encouraging active participation.
Okay.
Recognize and reward top contributors. Feature interesting questions and answers.
Yeah.
And create a welcoming environment where everyone feels comfortable sharing their insights.
It's like hosting a dinner party.
Ooh, I like that.
You want to create an atmosphere where everyone feels comfortable contributing to the conversation and sharing their stories.
I love that analogy. And just like any good host,
Yeah.
you need to keep things fresh and interesting.
Right.
Regularly update your content,
Okay.
introduce new features, and find ways to keep your audience engaged and coming back for more.
And of course, no successful community can exist without moderation.
Oh, for sure.
It's crucial to establish clear guidelines and ensure a safe and respectful environment for everyone.
Exactly.
Moderation isn't just about policing content, though.
Right.
It's about creating a space where people feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and opinions without fear of harassment or abuse.
100%.
It sounds like building a Q&A site is a balancing act.
It is.
You want to encourage open discussion while also maintaining a positive and inclusive environment?
You got it. Finding that balance is key to creating a truly thriving online community.
Okay, so let's move on to another crucial aspect of success.
Okay.
SEO.
SEO.
It's all about making sure your Q&A site gets seen by the right people.
Right.
Our source highlights the importance of leveraging keyword optimization, external linking to authoritative Australian sites, and internal linking.
It's like building a roadmap for search engines,
Okay.
helping them understand what your site is all about
Right.
and who it's relevant to.
So we've covered a lot of ground
Yeah.
from the technical setup to community management and SEO.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up part one,
Okay.
I want to touch on something that really stood out to me in the source.
Oh, yeah, me too. It was the emphasis on Australian regulations, right?
Yes. It's easy to overlook the legal side of things when you're caught up in the excitement of building a website.
Exactly. The source specifically mentions the importance of Australian hosting for businesses operating in Australia.
Right.
It's a good reminder that we need to be mindful of data privacy and security and choose a hosting provider that complies with local regulations.
Absolutely. It ensures that your user's data is protected and handled responsibly. And there are practical benefits, too.
Right. Hosting your site locally often means faster loading times for Australian users,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
which can significantly improve their experience
Yeah.
and encourage them to engage more with your content.
Makes sense. No one wants to wait ages for a page to load. Speaking of user experience, let's talk about the types of content that can really make a Q&A site thrive.
Okay.
Our source stresses the importance of fresh, relevant content.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of content do you think resonates most with users?
Well, first and foremost, the answers need to be valuable and informative.
Okay.
No one wants to wade through a wall of text that doesn't actually answer their question.
Right.
Clarity and conciseness are key.
Absolutely. But it doesn't have to be dry and boring either.
Not at all. You can get creative. Think infographics videos, even audio clips embedded within your answers.
Ooh, fun.
These can make the content more engaging and memorable.
That's a great point. It's about finding ways to present information in a way that's both informative and entertaining. It's like that saying, show, don't tell.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of storytelling.
Ooh, storytelling.
Sharing personal anecdotes, case studies, or even behind-the-scenes insights can make your content more relatable and human.
I love that. It's about adding a human touch to what could otherwise be a very technical or factual exchange.
Right.
It makes people feel more connected to the information and to the community.
Precisely. And remember, you don't have to create all the content yourself.
Oh, that's true.
Encourage user-generated content.
Yeah, get the community involved.
And let users share their own tips, experiences, and insights.
That's a fantastic way to foster a sense of community ownership. It takes some pressure off of you as the site owner and creates a more diverse range of perspectives.
Exactly. It turns your Q&A site into a truly collaborative platform.
Yeah.
Now, we talked earlier about using SEO to attract the right audience to your site.
Yeah.
But once you have them there, how do you keep them coming back for more?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
That's where engagement comes in.
Exactly.
It's not enough to just build a Q&A site and expect people to magically stick around.
Right.
You need to actively cultivate a sense of community.
You need to make people feel valued and appreciated like they're part of something special.
Okay.
Our source suggests recognizing and rewarding top contributors. You could feature their profiles or highlight their answers.
I love that idea. It's a simple but effective way to show appreciation.
Right. And don't underestimate the power of a simple thank you.
Yeah, just being human.
Respond to comments, engage in discussions,
Mm-hmm.
show your audience that you're present and that you care.
It's about building relationships, not just managing a website. It's
Yeah.
about creating a two-way dialogue.
Exactly. And keep things fresh. Experiment with different formats and features like live Q&A sessions, polls, quizzes, or even contests.
Fun.
Keep your audience engaged and coming back for more.
Those are all fantastic ideas. But let's not forget about the importance of moderation.
Oh yeah, moderation's key.
How do you balance fostering open discussion with maintaining a safe and respectful environment?
That's where clear community guidelines come in.
Okay.
You need to set expectations from the start
Yeah.
and enforce them consistently.
Uh,
It's about creating a space where everyone feels comfortable sharing their thoughts and opinions without fear of harassment or abuse.
it sounds like a delicate balancing act, but absolutely crucial for the long-term health of the community.
It is, but it's not just about policing content.
Right.
Moderation is also about guiding the conversation, keeping it relevant and productive.
Okay.
You're like the host of a dinner party, making sure everyone feels comfortable and the conversation flows smoothly.
I like that analogy. So we've talked about content engagement and moderation. But what about the overall philosophy behind building a Q&A site? What's the driving force?
For me, it's about democratizing knowledge and making information more accessible.
Okay.
It's about empowering individuals to ask questions, learn from each other, and share their experiences without barriers.
I love that. It's about creating a more inclusive and participatory learning environment. And it's amazing how technology can help us achieve that.
Absolutely. With a well-crafted Q&A site, you can connect with people from all walks of life and create a vibrant hub of knowledge sharing. But there's one crucial aspect we haven't touched on yet. It's something our source doesn't explicitly address, but it's essential for long-term success.
You're talking about design and user experience, aren't you?
Exactly. It's all about presentation.
Right.
You can have the most amazing content,
Yeah.
a thriving community, but if your Q&A site is difficult to navigate
Yeah.
or visually unappealing, people won't stick around.
It's like going to a restaurant with incredible food but terrible ambiance.
Yes,
It just takes away from the overall experience.
100%. So what are some key design considerations for a Q&A site?
Well, our source doesn't dive into specifics, but we can apply general principles of good web design.
Okay.
Clarity and simplicity
Yes.
should be your guiding principles. The layout should be intuitive and user-friendly.
Think about the flow of information.
Okay.
Can users easily find what they're looking for?
Right.
Is the question submission process straightforward?
Uh-huh.
Is the search bar prominently displayed?
Yeah.
These are all important considerations.
And don't forget about visual appeal. Typography, color schemes, imagery,
Right.
all these elements contribute to the overall user experience.
Absolutely. You want a design that reflects your brand personality
Yeah.
and makes people feel comfortable and engaged.
It's about creating a space that is both visually appealing and functionally sound.
And remember, accessibility is crucial.
Oh, of course.
Ensure your site is designed with accessibility in mind, making it usable for people with disabilities.
That's such an important point. It's about making information accessible to everyone regardless of their ability.
Exactly. And in today's mobile first world, responsiveness is key.
For sure.
Your Q&A site needs to look and function flawlessly on all devices, from desktops to smartphones.
So it's about creating a seamless experience across all platforms, but design is just one piece of the puzzle, right?
Right. It's important to strike a balance. Don't get so caught up in aesthetics that you neglect the core elements.
Okay.
Content, community, and functionality.
It's about finding that sweet spot where design enhances the user experience without overshadowing the valuable content and interactions happening on your site.
Precisely. Now, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Right.
I want to leave our listeners with a few key takeaways to keep in mind as they embark on their Q&A site journey.
Yes, let's recap the essentials.
First, building a successful Q&A site takes time and effort.
It does.
It's an ongoing process, not a one-time project.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. Second, don't be afraid to experiment and iterate. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. What works for one site might not work for another.
It's about finding what works best for your specific audience and niche.
Third, prioritize community building from day one.
Yes.
Foster relationships, encourage interaction, and create a welcoming and inclusive environment.
It's about building a sense of belonging, a shared space where people feel valued and respected.
Fourth, leverage the power of SEO to attract the right audience.
Okay.
Optimize your content, build backlinks, and make sure your site is easily discoverable by search engines.
It's about making your Q&A site a valuable resource that people can actually find.
And finally, pay attention to design and user experience.
Yes.
Create a site that is visually appealing, easy to navigate, and accessible to all.
It's about making the experience enjoyable and engaging for everyone who visits your site.
Remember, building a Q&A site is an incredibly rewarding experience. You have the power to connect with people from all walks of life, share knowledge, foster discussions, and create a thriving online community.
It's about building something bigger than yourself, a platform that empowers individuals and contributes to the collective pool of knowledge. So, dear listener, what kind of Q&A site will you create? What questions will you explore? What impact will you make on the world?
We can't wait to see what you build.
And that's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep those questions coming, keep diving deep, and keep building those amazing online communities.